Hey everybody, just real quick before the podcast start, I want to announce that I'm gonna release my first Vital Preset pack, Monchi's Vital Preset Selection Volume 1. And I'm gonna release this on Friday, the 4th of October. And if you head over to my Patreon, patreon.com/monchi_squarelab. So if you subscribe there with a minimum of $5 monthly, you're gonna get a $10 discount on my Vital presets. Very important last information is that this whole promo discount action gonna last until the 31st of October, so until end of October. After that, the discount will not be given anymore.
Monchi's podcast.
Yeah. Like, how was your day, man?
Yeah,
Did you
been
have a
good.
good-
It's been good.
been
I'm
good.
on vacation at the moment, so this is my last week. So I'll
Okay.
start working again. I work as a customer success manager in the recruitment business. So that's my day job. So
Yeah.
right now I've been on vacation for about 3 weeks, and I'll go back to work now on Monday. So
What you did on your vacation?
not much actually. I've been trying to finish up a collab I'm doing with Wooden Ships, a duo from Mexico. I think they're signed on Woo Dog Records, if I'm not mistaken. And then I've been trying to keep up with going to some parties and such. I've been playing at some parties as well.
Sick.
So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so to speak.
Yeah, sounds well balanced.
Yeah. Mostly I've been just chilling. I mean,
Yeah.
I like to sit by the computer a lot, so I've been playing a lot of games as well. So
What kind of games are you playing?
mainly MOBA games, so like Dota. Also been playing a survival game called 7 Days to Die. And a little bit of Battlefield.
Yeah, definitely. Also had a really intense League of Legends time. But it had a toxic turn at the end.
It's a love-hate relationship I have with Dota. I can get so frustrated when I play it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, but it keeps you really engaged.
Yeah. For sure it does.
Man. Yeah, I'm really. To me, it was a little bit like an addiction, or it was an addiction, definitely. I at the end, it was really hard for me to not play computer games.
Yeah.
But I needed to stop, and then still like it was such a long process of getting not anymore so used to it. So I remember that I still a year later was watching still videos of the game until also that was wearing off because I was so hooked and into it. But At what parties you were playing, like open airs or
open airs. So it's the open air season in Stockholm, Sweden, where I'm from. So it's been a lot of open air parties mainly. So it's like definitely the season here in Stockholm now. So like most of the time they're underground parties. The scene is quite small here. Like we do have some more, how do I put it, like commercial organizers as well. But I mainly go for the more underground ones because that's where the good music is being played according to me, to my taste. So
are they illegal or
kind of a gray area? So in Sweden we are allowed to, like, we have something called allemansrätten. I'm not sure how I should translate that to English. But basically it means that you are allowed to be at a certain area for like 24 hours as long as you leave no trace. And most of the time, and if you have like a closed. How do I call it? Um, like if you have like a list of all the attendees, you're allowed to have like private gatherings and such. So it's kind of a gray area. So the cops do come once in a while, but most of the time they don't care. As long as you know it's like a party where people behave and such, and
as long as you lick their asses when they are there.
most of the time they're chill. Actually, they do a good job. But it has happened that they actually have like closed down parties. It's a bummer, but it's part of the game, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's really cool. At least that there is like a legal possibility to make stuff like this. I also remember here in my town we can do stuff like this as well. It has unfortunately got regulated to a less loud volume threshold, which is allowed now. But I think my city was something like a prototype or pilot project for having these legal open airs 24-hour outdoor parties. We just need to say to the city council, hey, we do a party, and that's it. Before it was all just illegal.
Yeah, I think like when it comes to that, like most of the times they just want to somehow have control. So, for example, we had a open air day party with another crew here in Sweden during the National Day of Sweden, the Swedish National Day, which is 6th of June 6th. And so we had the day party from like 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we got calls, or the police got calls from some people saying like, hey, there's like this rave over here, they're disturbing the peace, blah, 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 blah. So the police, naturally, they would come, they would check out. So they went to our place and they're like, what is this? This isn't a rave. This is like just a gathering. It's like, this seems super chill. So they were like really cool about it. And it was like, it was really cool. It was just, like family and friends. So they brought their kids with them. They just hanged out. We played some good music. So, it was very, like just any gathering actually with just good music, so the cops, they told us like, you guys can, how long are you guys like going to keep on doing this? And we're like, we're gonna end at like 9 p.m. And they're like, wow, really? I thought it was gonna be like all night. We're like, no, this is just a day gathering. So they're like, I don't know why they called. This seems super chill. Like, call us if you like encounter any issues. So they like want us to,
nice,
be communicative. So in that sense, it's the cops are quite chill, in my opinion.
How police should be. Yeah, nice.
Protect and serve. That's how I see how they protect and serve the community.
Yeah. I can remember when on the last and probably also last ever open air I was organizing. Because the regulation of the volume threshold got set to, I think, 69 dB or something like this, which is like super quiet. It's like a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, that's very quiet.
It I think it was at 100, like normal, but then it got like, obviously the current politicians wanted to kill this thing by setting stupid regulations. But anyway, we did it way like on the outside the city, and I remember like you could see them when they came to the place. You could see them like 3 minutes before they are there. You see, they're coming now, so we turn down the volume.
Turn down the volume, exactly. That's the way to do it.
and they were coming, and everything was chill. And then I remembering, like, I was already a bit drunk and spaced out in the middle of the night. I took a look at my phone and saw that they were calling me, or a number was calling me, and it were like not the police, but what's beneath police, I don't know.
Like some
how it
kind of
is.
authority, or
Yeah, some kind of authority, but
Yeah.
also the same authorities which put tickets to wrong parking cars and those.
oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and actually they were calling me,
Yeah.
and they said like, yeah, we got like some calls coming in from people who say that it's too loud, and we just wanted to know how the situation is. And I was like a little drunk, and I was like, no, it's all good. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can turn down it a little bit, no problem. And they were like, okay. And I was like, yeah, can't do
No,
nothing.
it's all good. The music's fine. What are you talking about? What seems to be the officer problem?
Yeah. Yeah, so
Oh my
this was a pretty funny
Yeah.
experience, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think it's also a great it would be great if you just real quick introduce yourself to the audience, just in case some people
Yeah, for
listening
sure.
don't know you.
Yeah, so I'm Dada. So that would be Dadda. It is a nickname because of my last name, which my full name would be Matthias Dado. So I live in Stockholm, Sweden, born 1991, so I'm 33 years old now. During free time, I organize parties with some mates, and I also DJ and I produce music. I've been producing music for a couple of years now. Like, I think I started a course back in 2018, a 6-month course called Electronic Music Producer Yada Yada at SAE Institute. So I've always been into psytrance. I've been listening to psytrance since I was a little child. I was probably around 9 years old when I first heard it. I even remember the first track that I heard, and the first from the first CD. I think it was Destination Goa 7, which was released by a guy called DJ Phoenix, which is a Swedish guy that made these compilations back in the day. And the first track was Hux Flux Reflux. So I've been listening to the music for a very, very long time. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I also have a YouTube channel, which probably some of the viewers here already know, I guess. But for you who don't know, I also create samples and wavetables called the Side Tables Volume 1, 2, 3, 4. Working on the 5th and the 6th also. So and some preset packs.
Yeah, nice.
So I got a lot of stuff coming out soon.
Yeah, I definitely got to know you from your YouTube work. That was my first encounter with your stuff, and yeah, I just was curious how you came up with the idea doing YouTube stuff and how it's working out for you in general.
So it all started back in 2020 during the pandemic, as we all know how that went. So since I was new to music production during 2018-19, I still consider myself pretty new to it, even though I've been at it for a couple of years, but not full time. But I started checking a lot of YouTube channels, and I followed a couple of them, and I wanted to try it out myself because I found it very fun to play around with sound design primarily. I'm not so good at finishing tracks, so we have like kind of an inside joke that I am a king of unfinished tracks. But my main strength is sound design. I really love it, and I like also explaining how stuff work, and I like teaching as well. So that's how I came up with the idea that I would want to try and create some tutorials. So if you like go back to the first tutorial I did, it was like the old classic style of me just not talking. I'm just doing the sound design, and I have like these overlaid text like map this to this, do that, do that, do that, yada yada yada. And then I got a microphone and I started doing explain as I go
Yeah.
when I do the YouTube videos. And people enjoyed it, so I just kept at it, doing it. And then, yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Do you, when you record the videos, do you first do just the sound design stuff and then do like a commentary afterwards on your video, or do you, like in quotation marks, live explain while you're doing the stuff?
Well, most of the time, if I have an idea, I will practice it a little bit before. Like, okay, I come up with this idea that I've done. Like, okay, I want to showcase how to do an FM patch or something like that. And then I will experiment a bit before I turn on the record button. But when I
Yeah.
record everything, I explain as I go. And you can tell that by sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I like interrupt myself in the middle of a sentence. And
Yeah.
that's because I'm like focusing on something at that moment. So I'm not the type of YouTuber that will go back and edit everything, because I don't like editing videos. It takes
Yeah.
a lot of time,
Yeah.
and I'm not good at it. I mean, I don't want to spend my time editing videos, so I just record
Yeah.
as I go, and I will just do retakes. If I'm not happy with the recording, I will just do a retake from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, because I also thought about doing some educational stuff, and I just tried, and I felt like whilst I was doing it and tried to explain it at the same time, that I had my expectation to myself was to explain everything really in detail, but when it was, for example, about how to do a bass line, then when you set these frequency crossover
Yeah.
stuff for the multiband editing, like what it's doing to the face, I know it does something to the face, but I found myself like really not can explain properly what is going on, or how, for example, the visual interpretation or what I see, how the waveform is changing, corresponds to that from one crossover point to another one, the face gets flipped.
Yeah.
I know, like, I know the words, what's happening, but I really don't get the meaning, or like there's
I'm
something.
gonna give
Yeah.
you a little advice on those type of explanations. Like, you know ChatGPT, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So every time I get stuck, or every time I find something that like I know how to explain it for myself, but I don't know how to like translate that to someone who doesn't understand what it is.
Yeah,
I just use ChatGPT. Like I say, like, how can I explain this to someone that doesn't know what it is, or explain it like I'm 5, or explain it like I'm 12, or whatever.
yeah.
And it just helps you word everything out for you, so you know how to phrase it in order to, like, and then you just put your own words into it.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that's a really helpful tool in those cases,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But you got to be careful though, because ChatGPT can be wrong. Sometimes it
Yeah.
hallucinates and can spit out the wrong information. So you just got to be cautious on what information it gives you. But if you already know the fact, then it's easy for you to just, oh yeah, I can say it that way.
Yeah.
So that's a little advice I can give you if you want to, if you're struggling with how to explain stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely a good advice, which I won't forget. And another question I had in mind was like, are there some like, wait, let me real quick Google the word. Like, yeah, are there some role models for you in terms of making YouTube videos, like people which inspired you doing it? Like, where are your origins regarding YouTubing?
Oh, you mean like people that I looked up to for the
Yeah.
YouTube videos and stuff?
Yeah, because you said that you were looking on YouTube
Yeah.
and seeing the stuff, and then
Yeah,
Focus
for
on
sure. The guys that I used to check out a lot, and I still do, was Collective Intelligence, or Andrew, his real name. He's on a pause, I think. I haven't seen him upload anything new for quite a while now. Like, I think he's focusing on like having these like production courses. But I haven't spoken to him in a long time. And then I follow Dash Glitch a lot as well. He's one of the bigger guys in the Psytrance scene when it comes to making music and YouTube videos for sure. I also followed Mute Production. He does excellent videos. He's also a friend of mine. So
Yeah.
let me think if it was also Clada, if you know him.
Yeah. I think definitely.
He was also a big inspiration. And also Ned Rush. He's not in the
Okay.
Psytrance scene, but
Yeah.
he does like these breakcore IDM music. And he has some really cool tutorials on how to use Ableton and some tricks and stuff.
Should write this down
Yeah.
somewhere. Ned Rush.
Yeah, Ned Rush.
Okay, yeah, Ned Rush. I would definitely.
He also done some really cool Max for Live devices called Ned Effects Lucky 16.
Okay.
Those
I
are
don't-
super cool.
Never heard of. I just in terms of Max for Live devices, I'm a big fan of the Dylan.
Dylan
Bas-
Bastian? Dylan
Yeah,
Baston
yeah,
or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
His stuff
Yeah,
are
he's
also
sick,
really cool.
man. Definitely. Yeah, I already thought maybe also getting him on the podcast because I'm also curious about this Max for Life stuff. I
Yeah.
tried once to play around with it a little bit, but no.
It's same here. Same here. I've also tried the Max for Live, and I'm like, nah, this is too much to get into. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I want to
yeah,
learn. I want to learn, but I have other priorities at the moment that I feel I don't have the time to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
if I would just give it time and be patient about it, I would probably learn some tricks or two about it. But
Yeah, I think for me one thing is also that when I'm opening up Ableton, I have like this unconscious expectation of hearing some sick sounds or something like this, and yeah, then I really fast get frustrated and do it like the way I'm used to it, and ending up with some results I was unconscious
yeah,
expecting. But yeah, maybe someday. Let's see. I'm also enjoying a lot of other stuff, which is taking plenty of time. But yeah, man, I had the feeling regarding YouTube, and I'm curious if you had similar experience, or yeah, I don't had this experience already, but I've heard that YouTubers tend to put like a lot of pressure on themselves in terms of feeding the algorithm or come up with new videos and new stuff, and I wonder if you also have experiences like this, or if this is not a big deal for you.
for me personally, I don't care at all about the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah,
I do videos when I feel that I have something new to explain, or when I feel like it. Of course, I mean, I would lie if I wouldn't, stare a little bit on how many views the latest video
Yeah.
got. But I don't want the YouTube algorithm have control over what I want, the kind of video I want to make, because
yeah,
that's not the point of me doing the videos. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for clout. I'm not doing it to get money or to get famous. I want to do videos because I want to teach, I want to showcase, and I want to be some kind of source for new producers and experienced producers as well that might want to have learn some new tricks or see how others are doing it, and etc.
yeah,
But I know some people in the YouTube space that do actually try to cater to the algorithm to some extent, where they go into the analytics, but that's also because I believe they have other goals with their videos. So, for example, it might be that they want to go YouTube full time, then you basically have to cater to the algorithm.
yeah,
So, all in all, to sum it up, no, I don't really cater to the algorithm, but I do care a little bit about the views because I still want to grow my channel.
yeah,
And also, you have to have in mind that I don't do YouTube full time.
yeah,
So I have a day job that I work full time on, and for the time being, I tend to keep it stay that way. So yeah, I hope that was
Yeah,
answered.
yeah, totally. Yeah,
Cool.
I've just heard from other YouTubers that it's really a tough thing, and that they sometimes don't understand the behavior of the algorithm. Like
Nobody
probably
understands how it behaves.
nobody
Nobody
does,
does.
and that it's like super uncertain.
Yeah.
Like how much you then get paid for your work.
Yeah.
Some stuff is
Like for
blowing
example,
up and some don't.
like the most viral video I had, it had like 10,000 views,
Hmm.
and it was about how to get your kick and bass in phase with kilohertz disperser, where I show a little trick how you can like disperse stuff
Yeah.
in order to delay the waveform,
Yeah.
so you get it in phase. That has around like 10K or so in views. A 3-minute long video.
Yeah, sick.
I don't know why the algorithm picked it up. I don't know why it became popular. Maybe it was a popular topic. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because there are
regarding
tons of videos out there, that,
yeah.
especially about the kick and bass.
Yeah, like
So, like,
how to
why
do the
that
kick and
specific one?
bass. There are so many videos and so much
Yeah.
noise. I think also, which is like there was like a sweet spot in YouTube time. I think when there were not so many tutorials, but tutorials. But now these days, it's like the, most of the stuff, the majority for the kick and bass videos is like the same. But
Yeah.
yeah, on some stuff, yeah, people just could talk shit, and you don't have this kind of validation if the information which you got is
Is
true.
correct or not,
yeah,
or
yeah,
if it's valid, or I don't know. Like, for me, I see it as like when I stumble upon a new tutorial on YouTube, I always watch it because I want to see, is there something new here that I can learn something of. And it doesn't matter if it's a well-known producer or not. I'm still curious, like, what does this person has to offer? Maybe it has some cool tricks that I can take inspiration from and stuff. So, and apply it to my own techniques.
yeah,
And that's the fun part of producing music and learning things in general, is that there are so many ways to skin a cat.
yeah.
And that's the expression. Many ways to skin a cat. Do we use a knife? Do we use a scissor? Maybe a machete? Chainsaw?
Just your fingernails.
Yeah. Do it by hand?
But man, I really also want to give a shout out to your most recent YouTube video. I really enjoyed it. Like I already knew the general technique, the outline of what you were doing there, but how you gave it a spin with these new Ableton 12 features is really was really inspiring to me.
Yeah.
Like especially this step thing. Yeah, like this bubble arcade sounds.
Yeah. It's super like, yeah, it's a really nice technique, and I think it's often overlooked. That you have all the tools in your DAW most of the time, and we aren't necessarily always like dependent on third-party plugins. Like oftentimes, like especially for me, I know some producers, they really always use the like the built-in tools that comes with the DAW. I myself, I tend most of the time go for Serum. That's like my bread and butter synth. But once in a while, I try to like experiment with the built-in plugins, and that's they're very powerful if you know what you're doing. So again, that's why I wanted to share the video, because I think that a lot of times we get like caught up in these traps of we need this plugin to do that, and but with just a little bit of creativity, you have all that inside of Ableton in this case, or whatever DAW you're using.
We probably could give people a gross glimpse of what we are talking about. I mean, I will also link the video in the description so people can check it out. But just for now, maybe you can real quick explain what's the
absolutely. So the video is about you're using LFOs, and the synth that I chose for this experiment or for this tutorial was Ableton's own operator, which is a FM synth. And what you do is that you can you map the LFO. In operator, there's an option where you can set a fixed frequency on the oscillator. So if you have a fixed frequency on the oscillator, you will play, for example, 100 hertz sine wave. And no matter which note you're playing, it's always going to play that 100 hertz. But if you take an LFO and modulate that in a very, very fast rate, in audio rate, with the new LFOs, you can do that. You get like these really nice FM tones. And then you can modulate the LFO, can then be modulated by other LFOs in order to create these crazy patterns and these crazy modulation sources. And then you just record everything out, and then you just cherry pick the best parts that you want to use in your track.
Yeah.
It's also a really cool technique to create wavetables for yourself.
Ah, okay. It doesn't. Is it not maybe complicated with the pitch and stuff like this?
It can be
them really smooth.
Yeah, it can be because when you I often notice that when I create wavetables and I do too much of the pitch, what you call it, like pitch modulation, it also affects the phase. So it sounds really weird when you sweep the wavetable. But what I like to do with these kind of sounds is that I scan through the wavetable and then I just pick out certain single cycle waveforms.
Yeah.
And use that as tones, for example.
Okay. And I guess that kind of stuff we can expect in your upcoming wavetable packs.
Yes. I've been working on it for so long now.
Yeah.
Because like, it's kind of hard because like I feel like I've done a lot of the different type of wavetables in my previous packs, and I try to make the new wavetable packs that I always bring something new to the table, right? But I'm trying. Sometimes I get stuck, so then I have to take a break and like not make any wavetables and just wait to refresh my menu and then go back to it, and try to come up with new ideas in order to create new unique wavetables. And also so that they sound good is more important for me, of course. But yes, you can expect some single cycle waveforms, morphs, format wavetables.
So you said you work on 2 different packs at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't need to tell more details about it, but if yes, I would be curious what like your themes are for those 2 upcoming wavetable packs, or what kinds of techniques, or why 2 different, why are there 2 and why it's not just
mostly one? Because I want to create like that's a really good question. Why am I making 2 of them? Because I feel like I gotta think about that one.
Yeah, actually. It's okay. Man, take your time. Also, I just want to say,
because the thing is
anything here.
Yeah. Because why I can't give you an answer right now is because I haven't really thought about a theme. I just create a lot of wavetables, and then I thought maybe I should split them in 2 packs because it could be too many in one.
That's a valid, a really valid explanation.
Yeah. But now, come to think of it, now that you mentioned a theme, maybe I should try and sort the wavetables that I already created and do different themes.
Yeah, like technique or like different techniques. I was thinking like something like this is with this pitch modulation stuff. A lot of wavetables with pitch modulation stuff, and this is another wavetable pack where you use. I mean, obviously, you don't need to tell the people which technique you were using, but
but I kind of hinted in the name though of all the all the wavetables. So like you can see something like riser table, for example. Yeah. I call them tables instead of typing wavetable. I just side tables, riser table. Yeah, you know, and that kind of hints on like how I would use it. So it would basically be as a riser. So I would just, lay down a MIDI note, modulate the wavetable position either from down up or up down, depending on if it's a down or like a
Yeah.
down. What's it called? Down.
Lifter.
Yeah, down
lifters.
lifter, or it
Yeah.
should be a riser.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, it's up to your own creativity to do, because those wavetables, since there's a lot of harmonic movement inside of it, like normally in a riser, you have like a very low tone that rises up in pitch. That's a common technique. So if you do a sample and hold on a wavetable that has a lot of high-end information and low-end information, you get like these crazy sample and hold sequences out of it.
Yeah.
You can also like draw stepped LFOs in Serum, for example. You can draw like, and map that to a wavetable position, and you get like some kind of weird sequence, and then you can just like take it from there. So
Yeah.
just because it's intended to be a rising effect
Yeah.
with the wavetable itself doesn't mean that you have to use it as a riser.
Yeah.
But it just, my goal with the wavetables are to make it easy for the producer to just choose a wavetable. I want a riser.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Well, it means that you probably want to create a patch where you have pitch modulation, maybe some panning, maybe some frequency shifting, or whatever, wavetable movements and stuff. So my idea is, why don't I just create a wavetable that bakes in a lot of those elements
Yeah.
that would take time to create in a synth, and just have it as a recording in a wavetable, and then you can take your effects on
Yeah.
top of that. So you have like the basis of the sound recorded and everything as a wavetable. Just modulate the wavetable position, and then stack the effects that you want to have on top of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the philosophy behind
Yeah.
everything that I do with the wavetables, and
Yeah.
experimentation, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got it's hilarious when I say, yeah, I got a question from one of our listeners out there.
Yes.
Jack Act One was asking if you were regarding your wavetables creation, or like if you had some inspiration from other people, like which sound from what artists were really inspiring you whilst doing wavetables. If there is.
I'm trying to think back, because I think I started with the wavetables back in 2020, 2021, I think. And then I remember, because I watched a lot of the Future Media Academy videos. And then I remember Virtual Light, Vince, he had this like wavetable masterclass.
Yeah, I think I
And,
saw
yeah.
also this Future Media thing.
If you guys haven't checked it out, you guys, like, the viewers.
I don't know if Future Media is still existing.
It does. It does.
It does?
Yeah, it does exist.
Ah,
But
okay.
it was, I think it was some while ago that they announced that they were closing down, but I think they like changed their mind or something.
Okay.
So I think you can still get the courses.
Yeah.
But he actually did a wavetable masterclass, and I watched it, and I got really inspired by that one.
Yeah.
But before I watched it, I actually was creating wavetables, if I remember correctly. It's I'm a little bit confused on the timeline.
That's
where
some
when
years
everything
ago.
happened.
Yeah, already.
Damn, 4 years ago. It's crazy. Time goes back so fast. But yeah, for example, to answer the question for Jack, I don't have any specific artist in mind when I do the wavetables. Just that I like the process of creating them, and I like experimenting a lot. And that involves trying out new synths, trying out different type of sounds. How does it sound if I throw in this sample into a wavetable? How does it sound like?
Yeah.
And then I do some resampling stuff, and within the actual synth. So like in Vital, for example, you can like resynthesize the whole patch into a wavetable.
Yeah, man, that's so sick.
That's a really cool thing you can try out.
Yeah, I also was wondering if you had like a breakthrough experience, like in creating wavetables, which like really changed your process, or what you would consider as, yeah, your most valuable breakthrough.
Yeah. So like in terms of how the process changed, or
Like I yeah, like how what was a step in the evolution where you said this maybe this one thing really brought your wavetable creation to a next level.
oh yes, that would
Share
be
your biggest secret.
my biggest secret. My biggest secret, which actually isn't a secret. I don't have any secrets. But that would actually be the use of Vital. The
Yeah.
Vital is so good at recreating a sound that you give at it. I mainly use a pitch splice algorithm within Vital, and I don't know what he has done with Vital, but it just gets everything correct. It sounds
Okay.
so good every time I throw a sound at it, and it converts into a wavetable. It just sounds so good.
Okay.
So that would be one of the things that changed the way how I created wavetables. And then also using additive synths. For example, Harmer from FL Studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent synth for creating these really futuristic sci-fi type of sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can
yeah.
tell that I played a lot of it in the Sci-Tables Volume 2. I
Yeah.
have like 50 wavetables called Additive. All of them, I think, was made with Harmer, one way or
Yeah.
another.
Yes, it's such a crazy since I'm super happy I also can use it. I remember like because I'm a big fan of Delirium Tremens music.
Yeah,
And there was like one day somebody told me that he's using Fruity Loops, and yeah, I was obsessed. So
Yeah.
I checked out Fruity Loop stuff and stumbled upon a Harmo tutorial by this guy, Seamless,
yeah,
the RS Silent, whatever guy, who does pretty decent Fruity Loops tutorials. If you guys are on Fruity Loops, check his videos out. And yeah, and when I saw his video about Harmo, I was like, holy shit, I just need this
yeah,
stuff. It's so incredible. There's no, I think now, yeah, like the really juicy custom phaser sounds are also doable and Vital, but yeah, there's something to Fruity Loop stuff which is just like different.
yeah, definitely. Vital has it's a really good synth, but I use it mainly for, like, as I said before, Serum is my bread and butter synth. I use it for pretty much everything. Vital is like my go-to synth for creating wavetables. I just use it as a wavetable creation machine.
Okay.
I don't know. I just, because otherwise, like the filter in it, I have a real hard
Yeah,
time enjoying
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I really like the chorus and the reverb in Vital.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
could just get like the Vital effects, that would be really cool.
Yeah, for me it's like yeah, not exactly the other way around, but I really like the Serum effects.
Yeah.
And that's what yeah, especially the filters. The filters are like, for me, this one thing which is outstanding for Serum, at least in what I know about those two synths. But yeah, since maybe half a year or a bit more, always when I'm opening Serum, I will come to a point where I'd be like, oh man, I want to do some stuff here I could always do in Vital, and I just can't do it so easily. Or it's like, for example, modulating LFO rates with other LFOs.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just
You can do that. You can do that. In Serum.
yeah, it's doable, but the only way I knew, maybe I'm just not so well experienced, is through the matrix. Like
I think there's a way
is
to
it-
drag and drop where you like right click or something. I don't know
okay.
step by step. But what I'm missing in Serum is like remap functions, which you can do in Vital. So you can
this
do
is-
the
yeah,
mod
awesome.
remap. Luckily, we have that in Faceplant, which is also a really nice synth that I use.
Yeah.
which I'm also eventually going to release a preset pack for.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that one has been in the making for a long time. But I put that one a little bit aside and focus on those side tables instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have like around 70 or 100 presets for Faceplant
Okay.
that I'm planning to release.
Sick.
I just need to like go through them all and everything, structure everything and so on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some finalization.
Yeah. Yeah, the last 10%, which are like 50% of the work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw this remap function, I think in when Chromatone was showcasing his Vital preset pack for
Yeah.
Futurephonic Spectral Visions.
Yeah. That one is so good.
Yeah, I haven't purchased it, but when I just looking at the stream and seeing what he's doing and going through some of the presets, it's like I didn't knew stuff like
Yeah.
this was possible at all. And he also made me purchase one of your wavetable packs
Oh, he
because
did?
yeah,
that's cool.
he gave shout out to your wavetable.
Yeah, I remember that.
Stuff
I remember that
and,
because he contacted me and was curious about them because he was creating his own wavetables as well for the Spectral Vision
Mhm.
stuff. So we did like a little bit of trade there. So
Mhm.
he got my packs for his preset packs. So I had to play around with them a little bit. I also
Yeah.
made a stream. So if anyone
Yeah.
is curious on how they sound, like you can search for like Spectral Vision something data, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
I have a stream on it, by the way. Anyway, but yeah, it's a super cool pack. You should definitely
Yeah.
check it out if you get the chance.
Yeah. yeah. Yeah, man, there's so much stuff I want to check out. Also, I just saw it once in action in an Act 1 stream, these Ableton racks by Inside Out.
Yeah,
The new ones, they look like
he's also a good sound designer. His racks are amazing.
super crazy, yeah, man.
His presets too
Okay.
for Serum. Yeah, they're also really good.
Yeah, I also was thinking about maybe releasing. I just yesterday or 2 days ago, I was thinking about maybe releasing some of my Vital presets, but I'm not sure. I have like concerns that they are not. It's not like it would not be an all around-ish preset pack where you have like kicks, basses,
Doesn't matter.
atmospheres.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
See-
does it really?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm insecure.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like for example, I never knew I would release. I wasn't planning on creating a lot of like wavetables and such. I just started creating wavetables.
Yeah.
I found the process really fun. I reached out to a couple of mates, like, "Hey, I've created a lot of wavetables," and they're like, "Dude, these are so good. You should consider creating a pack." And so
Yeah.
I'm like, "Really? Like, I'm a nobody. Nobody knows who I am. I'm not
Yeah.
a professional producer. I can't do that."
Yeah.
And I did, and it worked out. I'm sitting here talking to you, for example. I've had professional producers that I look up to that have tried the wavetables and like them. So.
Yeah.
I mean, anything is possible, and I mean, people know who you are, so
Yeah.
go for it. It doesn't matter. A preset pack doesn't have to have, like, a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
It can be a
Yeah.
focus pack. So let's say, for example, you're really good at FM, for
Yeah.
example, or effects. Then create a theme like effects pack for Vital
Yeah.
and
yeah.
release it as that. And maybe that would be a go-to pack for someone.
Creative experimental pack.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Seriously. It's a good thing. Like for me, I would much like, for example, I use Mute Productions bass pack a lot.
Yeah.
I use the Futurephonic kick presets
Yeah.
a lot because I know that they are high quality stuff.
Yeah.
I like them, and some people would say, "Oh, create your own stuff." Like, yeah, I do that as well.
Yeah.
But if I have something that already sounds good and I can, skip the process of creating my own kick, which I really hate doing, I
Yeah.
would do that any
Yeah.
time of the day. So
Yeah.
so really, like, don't hesitate if you think it's good and you think that it's stuff that you use yourself and it's like your type of like signature sound and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and if you want to release it, just do it. I'm sure people will get it.
Hmm. Okay, I will definitely keep your words in mind.
Yeah.
And there was something also on my mind, but it just vanished. It's away. I forgot.
We were
There's
talking
something-
about Chromatone, Remap, Vital.
Yeah, definitely had something to do with making preset stuff for wavetables, but it just slipped away. Anyway, is there like some recent production technique on your mind, some stuff which you are really hyped about right now or in the last days?
Not that I can think of. What I'm struggling with, that I'm trying to find better techniques for, that is actually arrangement and stringing
Mhm.
everything together.
Hmm.
That has always been my like weak spot, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of producers, especially new producers, struggle a lot with arrangement. So for myself, I'm trying to find new ways to make that process easier for me. But it's not something new production technique that like really makes it worthwhile sharing. I guess I don't have anything like that. Like most of the new production technique that I come up with, they're on my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Um,
Do you use like template projects for your?
the only template I have are like MIDI tracks and audio tracks, because I always have like, I call it the gain stage rack. So I
Yeah.
have like a EQ, I have a clipper,
Yeah.
and then I have a utility, and
Yeah.
at the last of the change I have a Maxfly plugin called Demixer, because it has like this fader which shows me the value of the of the signal, like how
Yeah.
loud it is. So
Yeah.
it shows
Yeah.
me like, oh, minus 18, because I tried to
Yeah.
gain stage everything in
Yeah.
a certain way. So for
Yeah.
example, for leads and stuff, I like to gain stages so around like minus 18 or 16 dB in peak value,
Yeah.
because at the end of the chain, when I look at the master channel, when a track is fully produced but not mixed properly, I hit around minus 6 dB already, so I don't have to put too much energy on getting all the levels correctly and stuff.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
kind of mix as I go, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like the only template I have. I keep it really simple.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, like an arrangement template.
No.
Like, no.
No, I don't have that. But I do use reference tracks. So I would grab a track that I like a lot and from another producer, and then I would like kind of mimic the structure, but I give it my own touch to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a really good tip that I can give to new producers that struggle with arrangement. That it has worked for me. Those times that I tried it, I should do it more often, because it will help you have something to work against. So
Yeah.
because oftentimes I find myself scattering, like the structure becomes really scattered all over the place, so
Yeah.
I can't really find the
Yeah.
trail to follow,
Yeah.
so to speak, to make everything flow.
It's so hard.
It is. It is. So that's why I like, my advice to people that struggle with arrangement should be like, use reference tracks,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
but at the same time, don't fall in the trap to copy it exactly. Just
Yeah.
like analyze it, listen to it, listen closely. Like, okay, when is he introducing the drums? How are they introducing the leads for a new section? How is
Yeah.
the breakdown introduced?
Yeah. I think it's also a lot about being good at transitions.
Yeah,
Like if you can connect whatever you want, so to speak, it's way easier to arrange if you
find
have a good
transition elements.
yeah. And yeah, what I wanted to say also regarding copying the arrangement. I think, of course, you can like copy like typical leads and stuff, but I think you would never ever end up having like a similar track, even if you try really hard. Maybe if you're super experienced, then, but yeah, if you're starting out, there's like no way it will sound the same, even
No.
if you try really hard. And it also takes like a lot of patience, I think, to copy a whole track. Like
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I maybe I could do like 1 minute or 1.5, maybe even 2, but
Yeah.
at some point I would be like, oh, but I want to do this. Yeah, there's so
But
much.
it's a good exercise because you become really critical at listening to the track on a whole
It's
nother
super
way.
nice.
It's both a blessing and a curse because ever since I started producing music before, I've been DJing for a very long time now. I've been DJing
Yeah.
since I don't know over 10 years now, and like you learn structure in another way, and you learn how to listen. But when I started producing, I can't enjoy a track like innocently, if that makes sense. Like when
Yeah.
when before I went into the production thing, I could just go to a dance floor. I could just enjoy the moment how it is. I didn't pay attention to all the details as producers do. But
Yeah.
now when I start producing myself, I have to like, how did he do that? Oh, that snare doesn't sound too good.
Yeah.
What was that? Like, oh, the DJ, he's mismatching the beats. He can't beat match. Like, you know.
Yeah, this is
And-
horrible.
yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it also makes me not enjoying this. It's so stupid, but yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
But on the flip side, when I do hear a good track, I know for sure this is a good track
yeah,
in my taste, of course.
yeah. I had this once that I tried to recreate like 8 bars. I really set the bar low in quotation marks, like 8
Yeah.
bars of a Delirium Tremens track, and
Yeah.
then I just maybe I had like 4 kick hits or something like this, and afterwards I was like, how the fuck, I don't understand anything anymore. It's like I can't even listen properly. It's like, I think for me this is what's so magical to me about this production, that I'm so overwhelmed listening to all the details at the same time
Yeah,
that I can't grasp it really. But it's to me on such a perfect level of being overwhelmed and hearing everything at once, like, yeah, on the edge of that, maybe a little bit above it, that, yeah, it's so challenging, and I think a really nice kind of being overwhelmed. At least I like this sensation of be like, what the fuck, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And I there is the possibility I can get all of this, but I can't, like, yeah, I really love this a lot, and so it was really hard to
somebody might have to correct me in the comments on this one, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he has a drummer background, like he comes from the metal scene. Because I noticed that he like in some of his tracks, when he comes to like this climax at the end,
Yeah.
like things are all over
Yeah.
the place. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this track!
I just
So
know
good,
that he
so chaos.
that he got a degree also in music production.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, definitely also. Yeah, he's probably maybe, yeah, a fan of metal. At least he has this track like Pumpo Mega Duro or something like this, where it's like constantly somebody scrolling in the background. It's such a mad track. Yeah.
like I think one of my favorite tracks with him, I think it's called I Can Hear Voices or I Hear Voices or something like that. I think it was
Yeah.
released on a compilation a couple of years ago. Around
Yeah, I think he got like one
2018.
I hear voices and one
Yeah.
I do voices. They're like one
Something
really
like
new
that.
one. Yeah.
But that's like
Yeah.
one of my favorite tracks with him, and also like this super collab he did with Kusabi and a lot of other producers.
Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
high
man,
quality
he's
stuff.
so insane. It's also for me my one of my biggest sources of inspiration. Like if I really feel uninspired, I just listen to his music and I'd be like, oh, I could try this, I could try that, and I really like this as well. And it's insane music.
Yeah.
But hey, man, it's been an hour, and I'm
Sure.
also pretty hungry and need to make some dinner.
You do that,
But
man.
before we close up this thing, is there anything you want to plug or tell people where to check out your stuff?
Sure. You can check out my YouTube channel. It's Dada Official, I think, or Dada Sai or some Dada Sai. That's how I had to name it. Maybe you can put it in the link in the description or something of the podcast. And advice for producers: don't forget to enjoy the process of making music. I know myself that I've been having these like creative dips.
Yeah.
And those will always be there, no matter how long you've been producing. I think even more pro producers that have been at it for a long time can have these creative dips.
Yeah.
And it's just part of being a music producer in general. Being creative is fatiguing. So just have that in mind, and don't forget that you will come back to it eventually.
Yeah.
When you're in the creative process, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, really good advice. This also reminded me, I think, now of what I forget earlier. Is like when you were speaking about using kick samples and bass samples or kick presets or whatever. It's like to reduce the process as good as you can on what is making it enjoyable or fun to you. And if you don't enjoy it, to make a kick, and then just grab a sample and it's all about fun, and you don't need to prove to anybody but yourself probably that you can do this stuff.
That's one thing. That's one thing that people also should remember, is that that's a really good point that you bring up, because the only other people that care how the track is made is you and other producers, and you don't have to cater to any other producer but yourself. The audience, whether you're making music for the dance floor or if you're making music for yourself, any other listener don't know how the music is made. So, and they won't care. They just want to hear good music. They just want to hear how you express yourself. So for sure, that's a really good point that you bring up. If you don't enjoy making kicks, grab a kick sample or use a preset. If you don't enjoy using bass, grab a sample or use a preset.
I do. I have like these days, like once every 4 months or something like this, where I'd be like, I really don't know what to do today, but I want to do something music related, and these are kick days or snare days when I feel really uninspired in terms of looking for new interesting textures or characters or stuff like this. Then I just do. I'm just working then.
That's what I call practicing.
I think this is a pretty good topic to wrap up the podcast. I will just cut it here.
For sure.
That's done now. Sick, mate.